is a demonstration about how to do the wall framing to support a door. We're going to begin in our lumberyard document. You have some elements there that you created for other parts of our ranch house. We're going to create a new layer here. Actually, by clicking on the plus sign, I'm going to type in wall framing, and I'm going to add the word door just because that's what we're working on now. I'll click here to make that active. Now in our Google Classroom, we want to go to the instructions, Ranch House Step 6, Frame Wall Elements, and I'm going to click on the document for Frame a Door. When you click on that, you get this document here, Framing a Door, and this is what we're going to be creating. So we're going to go into our SketchUp document, and we're going to go to Top View. And in Top View, we're going to create some lumber. We're going to start with a board that is 12 feet long. Notice my dimensions down here, 12 feet long, feet, comma, 12 feet, comma, 6 inches wide. Enter. And then I'm going to take that and make it a component, and I'm going to call it door sole plate. And then I'm going to double click on that and give it some wood color, and I'm going to use the push-pull extrude tool to pull it up 2 inches. So now I have a piece of lumber that's 2 inches thick, 6 inches wide, and 12 feet long. I need to create vertical members. I'm going to use Control and Move to make a copy of this. And then I'm going to take this copy and go to Edit, Solid Component, Make Unique. This one I need to make shorter because my walls are only 10 feet high. So I'm going to go in here, go to the end. This was 12 feet long. I'm going to push it forward 2 feet and then click out here. I can check my dimensions and make sure that that's correct by using my dimension tool over here. Click on one end and on the other end and pull it out, and I can see that it is 10 feet long, which is what I need. All right, so now I'm going to take that component and I'm going to rotate it so that it stands up. So I'm going to rotate it 90 degrees, typing in 90, and I'm going to move this so that it sits right on the end of my sole plate. Now, when you're framing wall members, that's very similar to framing the floor platform. The vertical joists are 16 inches apart from the center of one joist to the center of the next one. So I'm going to use Control Move to move a copy. I'm going to type in 16 inches. Now, to make sure it's 16 inches from center to center, the space in between should be 14 inches. How do we get that? From the center to this edge is 1 inch. This would be 14. 14 plus 1 is 15. And then from here to the center of this would be 16 inches. Let's just check to make sure that the space is 14 inches. Using the dimension tool, click here and there, and we see 1 foot 2 inches, which is 14 inches. So that's how we would get that correctly spaced. I'm going to go to front view here. The tall joists are called king studs. There's also in our diagram here something called a jack stud. So these are the king studs, and then right next to it is a jack stud. So I'm going to control move a copy alongside, right alongside, so it's only 2 inches. And I need to make this unique because this is going to be shorter. How much shorter? We're going to find out in a minute. But let's make this unique first. Okay, so that is our jack stud. Now let's go to the 3D warehouse and get an actual door model. Let's type exterior door. Search. And we want something that's relatively simple, so it's not going to take up a lot of file space. Let's take this nice little fan light door, is kind of nice. Download it directly into my model, yes. I'm going to put it over here. I need to know the dimensions so that I'll know how big to make the spaces in my model. So take my dimension tool, click on the bottom and on the top, pull out, and I see the height is 7 feet 3 inches. Now let's dimension the width, this side to that side, pull up, and the width is 3 feet 6 inches. All right, so my jack stud here needs to be 7 feet 3 inches. I'm going to click on that jack stud to make it active. Sorry. There we go. Okay. Needs to be 7 feet 3 inches. So let's do the shortcut on the math. 10 feet minus 3 feet is 7 feet. So we'll take it down 3 feet. And then we'll take it up. Now what's left is 7 feet. So we'll take it up 3 inches. And now our jack stud will be 7 feet 3 inches high. Okay. Now, according to our diagram, we need another jack stud on the other side of the door. So our door is 3 feet 6 inches. Let's take that jack stud and let's move it, control move a copy over. Start to move it and type in 3 feet 6 inches. No comma in between because we're only moving in one direction. Now I want to take the king stud and copy that, control move. We're going to move that right to the other side of our jack stud. Make sure that it's sitting right alongside of our jack stud. No space in between. Good. Now, according to our diagram, we also need some header pieces. We're going to take one of our jack studs and we're going to, no, I changed my mind. There's an easier way. We're going to use our orbit tool and we're going to zoom into the space above one of our jack studs. And we're going to draw a rectangle above it that is 2 inches by 6 inches. 2 inches, comma, 6 inches, enter. And we will make that a component. I'm just going to call it H1 for one of the first parts of my header. And I'm going to leave this white, but I'm going to pull this using the push-pull all the way across my space, which is 3 feet 6 inches. 3 feet 6 inches, no comma. That's the distance in between. I needed to make it a little bit more because I need to allow for the space of the other jack stud. So that's another 2 inches. All right. Now, I'm going to, again, follow the diagram. I need 2 vertical boards. These vertical boards are also 6 inches, but they're standing up instead of laying down. So I'm going to, again, draw a rectangle over here, and I will make it 6 inches, comma, 2 inches, enter. I'll make that a component, and I'll call this H2. And I'm going to need, according to my diagram, I need 2 of those. So I'm going to control move a copy of that right to the other side right now, and put it so that it's exactly sitting there. And then I need to pull those 2 all the way across, and that should be 3 feet 8 inches. So let's open our components by double clicking them and pull them across 3 feet 8 inches. And that part works. Now, for the rest of my door, I need a top plate. My top plate needs to be double. That's very easy to do. Let me just move this door out of the way for a little bit. I'm going to take my sole plate and control move a copy straight up so it will sit on top, and it will be 10 feet up and 10 feet 2 inches, sorry, 10 feet 2 inches. I have to allow for the thickness of the sole plate. And then it needs to be double, so I need one right above that, control move, and this one's only 2 inches above. Now, the last part of the door framing is to add some support in this space. So I'm going to take one of my jack studs over here. I'm going to control move a copy out into this space. I'm going to make it unique because I need to cut it short. I'm going to take that, and now that it's unique, I'll move it over here and set it right alongside of the king stud on top of those horizontal members that I just drew. Now, since this is unique, I can go to the top of this and use my push-pull or extrude tool to pull this down so that it fits level here first, and then down another 2 inches so that it just touches the bottom, I'm sorry, 4 inches. So it just touches the bottom of that upper top board. Now, the framing is similar to what we've done before. We need to move this so that it's 16 inches on center from the one here, which would be 14 inches away. I'm just going to start to move this over and type in 14 inches and control move a copy, and that's 16 inches on center also. So I have my framing elements ready. I'm just going to add one more wall joist over here by control move and type in 16 inches. So I'm not going to fill in this space here because I'll fill those in with either wall joists or maybe a window. It depends on how my house is laid out. But this concludes the tutorial on how to create an opening for a door. Now we can just take our door and we'll get rid of dimensions here by clicking on them and hitting delete. We can move our door into our space just to test it. And it just takes a little bit of maneuvering around SketchUp to move things into position. But this should just fit our space very well. Okay, so let's orbit around. Fits in the back, fits in the front, fits on the sides. So it's a pretty tight fit in there. And that is it.